Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. in the world? I'm happy you're here as we begin this live session over here. Yes, the market is alive. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about right here on the DXY, on the dollar. This is going to be a fun session. Always a lot to learn. Let's see what the market is offering to us. Let's get in it together. Will there be some sensitive subjects? It depends on how sensitive of a person you are, really. I'm just looking for facts. I'm looking for truth. I'm looking to be able to absorb all information and be able to discern where I believe to be the truth lies. I'm not, so I don't know. That's up to you, man. That's definitely subjective. However, listen, there was someone here said that they were points away from blowing an account on gold. Listen, I cannot reiterate this and take the course. That's absolutely ridiculous. There's no way you should be wasting money like that ever whatsoever. Blowing account, trading without a plan. Come on, invest in your future, invest in yourself. There's no question about that. That's not okay to hear. So there we go. Let's start off with the DXY. I'm going to get right into it and flow. Let's get into the DXY. We have a huge deal going on here on the DXY. We have a huge trend change over here. We got a huge over there breakout, retest, resume on this line over here. This is now, by the way, all this was, all right, now, even though I'm becoming a dollar bear, right? I'm going to become a dollar bear. I expect further dollar weakness over here. Even though in my heart at the time I was a dollar bull. Okay, that's the same event happening today. Right now I have to change my position and say, okay, right now at this particular time I'm becoming a dollar bull. Now, there's not much else to say except that's how you do it. I see lots of people, I follow Twitter, right? I see a lot because that's where you could get like that. Ray Dalio talks about you could triangulate discussions there. You could see one person who's like this uber bear, this other person who's an uber bull, and you get to listen to both sides of the argument, and then you find out what you discern to be the truth, right? So either which way, I don't really care. I just follow what's going on in the charts here. Just because we're getting a breakout over here, I am now actually bullish on the dollar. That doesn't mean that I expect the dollar to go back and trade up towards 100 or anything close to like that. Actually, I have no idea what it's going to do. I have no idea. I just know from now on, I'm going to be looking here to be trading towards the dollar until what? First of all, this line over here gets moved back down. I'm moving this resistance. We now blow past it. I'm moving it down back over here. Okay? That's number one. Now, the only thing that will negate this at this point will be if we, right, trade back below right now. Like this could change 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks from now. Right now, at this particular point in time, if we trade back below this trend line, at that point, I'll be like, all right, that was a fake break. It does not look like a fake break right now. It looks like this is a perfect conquering the markets all day long. This is actually a trend change over here. This is now I am positioning myself going forward long the dollar. I have a bullish bias towards the dollar. That does not mean that I'm looking all of a sudden for the dollar to trade to 100. Could it? Yeah. But that's not what I'm targeting. I'm not targeting anything. I'm following what's going on. That's number one. What does that mean for gold? What does that mean for silver? What does that mean for Bitcoin? Well, I suppose we should talk about all of that today. What do you think? Right? However, before we do that, let's focus in on over here. By the way, by the way, the ECB was a non-event, right? They basically pushed the meeting out till December. Be like, we're waiting for more data, and then we're going to reassess in December. Did they set themselves up to ease further in December? I don't know. It didn't really seem it to me. They're basically just like COVID vaccine, more data, So we'll see what happens. Not much of an event. Will the election be a non-event also? Maybe the election will also be a non-event. We'll see. Right? Before we get into gold, which I would really want to get into, I'm going to take a look on the indices right now. By the way, By the way, I'm going to really like, how do you say, I don't know. I don't know how you want to say it. Right over here, first week of August. First week of August, we met all of our objectives to the upside, and I went on record. Go to the YouTube videos, first week of August. The headlines will be, at this point, equities are risky, right? And look what's happened since. A lot of volatility on both sides, and we haven't gone anywhere, right? Is that where you want it? And what did I strongly push at that moment in time, right? Bitcoin. 30% up since. All right, so here we are. What's going on now? Well, I think they're a lot more risky than they were back in August at this point. I think they're a lot more risky than they were back in August at this point. Why? Simply because of the U.S. election. Now at this point in time, we're hearing people talking about, double dip recession, market crashing, insolvency. Well, I don't know. There's a big difference between what was happening over here. And that started in September. That started when we started seeing a problem in the repo market, that we did not have enough dollars. That was a big problem in the market. And I'm not seeing the same thing right now. So I'm not like, I just want to be neutral at this point. I actually think there's a strong possibility. And I think that I don't think a lot of people are in my camp. I like that. I like when a lot of people are not in the same trade as me. I happen to think my bias, now equities are risky. You should be neutral. My bias is that if we get past this November huge risk event unscathed, that equities are going to start really flying. Okay? So I'm preparing for that. But right now, man, could we waterfall down? We can. It's possible. Look, even right now, we're at a very important, Jordan, why would you add this trend line? Well, because I didn't need to have that trend line when we were up here. After we broke trend lines, then I needed something, I needed a guidance down here. That's why I added it as we came down to it. When I was trading up over here, I didn't need this trend line down here. I need this trend line now. This is where we are. I have horizontal support. I have trend line. By the way, this trend line is kind of important in the fact that this is what the bottom found its base off of, right, back in March. Here we are testing that right now. Does that mean if we break that I want to sell this? Listen, I think that over the next few days, there's going to be a lot further uncertainty. A lot could happen. But at the same time, you saw yesterday afternoon, Nancy Pelosi simply floats a little bit of hope, which everyone knows is not even possible, of some type of stimulus happening during the lame duck period, and the markets went bid off of that. So I just think the equity, the value proposition is not there on either side. And I think that being on the side right now is absolutely the single best position on the equity markets. Wait, observe. When something comes clear, and by the way, something could come clear today, tomorrow, or on Monday, and it doesn't mean that I wouldn't act. That's the right you have as a trader, right? That you could act at any time. So you gotta be flexible in being able to go with the flow and change your mind. So and that's what I mean on the dollar here. Yeah, I'm calling a dollar breakout over here, right? Now, what happens if we wick down today and close back below that trend line? Well, obviously, I'm saying to you, back right now, the only thing that would change my view here on the dollar breaking out is if we traded back below this trend line. All right? Everyone be clear. What's going on with the Nasdaq? Let's check it out. Look, let me go back to the daily time frame for a minute. I'm not looking at any comments right now. And simply that's so I could go over the analysis. I just don't want to get distracted. We have an important session, a lot to cover. We don't have a lot of our time. We have a maximum another hour. So I'm really going over it. So the reason I say that is just so that you understand. I don't even have the comments on my screen. Now, what's going on here on the Nasdaq, right? You could see that, well, I see we're into a trend line over there. That trend line, is it much? Not really, right? That came off the top here. That came off and that touch over here. It's a light line. I would not carry too much weight to it. More importantly, what I see is happening is that we broke down. This is resistance. Broke down, retesting that resistance. A resumption down. Wow, that looks pretty good. If I wanted to trade to the short side, that would be something I might be watching. Let me come on the 8 hour. There you can see it a little better. break of important support, retest, resuming down. Now, you do have a lot of support here, here, here. It's a congested area, right? Which is why I've said, and by the way, we're 10% off the high. That's a decent pullback. There's no value proposition whatsoever for me, right? If you're a gambler and you feel like gambling, I guess you're gambling. I'm not a gambler. I'm here to make a living. Russell, let's check it out. It's into the support over here. There's not much else I could say. Okay. Do I want to buy off the support? Absolutely not. I want to stay away. I still need to give the overview. Same thing over here, right? Finding support. Is it attractive? Not for me. Now, if, for example, things changed, whereas like all of a sudden Mnuchin and Pelosi were meeting and like they were actually compromising, and then like it looked to us that yes, with a little push by the president, the Senate could pass a deal. Okay, then I would really be looking to get long equities. Okay, outside of that happening, I don't feel like stepping in front of a train wreck, so I'm not going to. All right. Gold, boom, taking out stops, breaking an important level over here. Look, gold, same thing as the dollar. Tight correlation. I guess that's what we're going to be talking about between gold and the dollar right now. So a lot of views to bring up over here. From the chart alone, breakdown, retest, resumption, right? Everyone sees right now. Do I want to go ahead and sell gold? You all know I don't, right? If we do come down to an important support level, will I be looking to lean in and buy? Yeah. Right now, staying on the sides, observing, waiting for this damage to be corrected. What does that mean? That means that in order to feel good about gold right now, it's the golden line over here. Right now, at this particular time, below 1914, I'm not even looking for a long entry. Could that change? Yes. If we come down further, that could change. If we come down further, that could change. Or if more time passes, well, probably not. 1914 right now. What about silver? I'm going to go back to talk about other things on gold right now. Look, everyone could see it clear as day. When I say everyone could see it, we had the breakdown outside the consolidation, right? Kept everyone and their mother out of a long gold trade during that whole period. Came back down, retest, resumption down. When does silver look attractive? Not until I'm above this trend line over here at all right now, unless we came down massively, right? Do I like $19 silver long term? You bet. Do I like $22, $23 silver long term if I was buying physical silver right now? Absolutely. All day long. We're talking about swing trades over here. All right, let me talk about the dollar and gold right over here. Let me talk about the dollar. Is the dollar strong right now? No. Is the dollar, am I calling a trend change on the dollar right now? Yes. The dollar is weak still. Like, look, just it's not that far off the yearly low. But we see over here what's turning out to be a bottoming pattern, right? We see the technical break over here. Now it's time to go long. Now we'll have that long bias until that changes. So, is that strong dollar going to put any type of pressure on gold? Someone shared this. I'm not going to mention who it was because it was through a private message. Shared this Bloomberg article with me. And for the first time in a decade, central banks are selling gold. So number one, anytime I read anything on the internet, I do it using this skill that's not taught in schools called critical thinking. So number one, Bloomberg. What's Bloomberg? Is that an outlet I trust? Number two is who uses Bloomberg as some type of broadcast channel, right? And if they are providing information, how are they trying to influence my opinion and why? Right? So central bank selling gold. So I just skimmed through it like this. And then I thought myself, well, which central banks are selling gold? And then all I could think of was Turkey, right? Because Turkey's having a currency crisis right now. And then I thought, when are they selling gold? And it says the third quarter. I said, well, that makes sense. We were actually having a lot of problems, right? So then I go back and it does say, it says Turkey and Uzbekistan, right? So listen, do I think that this is something that warrants my attention? I do not. All right. So that doesn't change my bias on gold whatsoever. Now, so what is the strong dollar? If we're going to see a stronger dollar over here, if we're going to see, and could it be still a counter trend move? Yeah. The dollar's got like above 96.40. You know, we're not seeing dollar strength. Okay. So, you know, but even still right now I have this, I don't know where it's going to end up. Could that put pressure, near-term pressure? It could. Listen, I'm looking for gold to be a safe haven during the U.S. election. Maybe that doesn't happen to election night. Maybe that doesn't happen until like, you know, after midnight when no one's conceding the election. I don't know, and I don't know that's going to happen, but I am looking for that to happen. Is it possible we see a rising dollar and rising gold? Look, you know, so many times I've pointed out to you, to everyone, yes, there was actually a better chart over here. Let me go ahead and pull up this. Only not better, just quicker. This is by Allen, right? And he's showing this correlation. You know, this is the one that I always point out. In the beginning of 2020 over here, do you see over here that the dollar, I don't know which one's the dollar, which one's gold. I'll assume the one gold is orange. Yeah, because the dollar's weak right now. So you see over here, gold was shooting up January all through February, and the dollar and why the dollar was super strong, shooting up to 100. Gold was outperforming the dollar. They both can rise. Right over here, look at this period over here. You see over here the dollar, the gold rising, the dollar rising, right? Now, most of the time they have this inverse correlation where you see the dollar rising and gold selling off. The gold rising, the dollar selling off. But over here you see the dollar rising and gold rising. Now, most of the time they have this inverse correlation. The dollar rising, gold selling off. Over here you have, so I'm a swing trader, right? This correlation is not something that I could base any type of investment off of when I'm swing trading, because there are too many periods where they're tracking themselves. So follow what's going on price alone. Right now, gold has technically broken down. There's no reason for me to take a gold trade. If gold, regardless of what the dollar is doing, if gold is able to regain its technical breakdowns and repair itself, then I could go long the dollar, because I don't know that the dollar will continue or the dollar will start, follow what's on the chart. Lesson. Bitcoin. How is that going to affect it? I mentioned yesterday in the afternoon video that, like, look, and everyone here knows it. I know you know it even still. By the end of the first quarter of 2021, the correlation between Bitcoin and everything else is going to break for a period of time. And that's going to get really pronounced in the second, third, and maybe into the fourth quarter, depending on how far the bull market goes, right? And even still into the bear market, it's going to happen again. So, if people want to know more information on that, check out the Bitcoin playlist. Look how I explain the 4-year cycle and why. Nevertheless, right now, today, yes, not only today, the last couple of days, as I've seen the equity markets get demolished, right? Bitcoin has come off a little bit. Is there a correlation? Yes, there's a correlation. Is that correlation like if the equity markets crash, does that mean Bitcoin's going to crash? Are we having a liquidity crisis? No. Is it possible we have a liquidity crisis? Yes. Everything's possible. This is the markets. Are we seeing any signs of that happening right now? No. Bitcoin, by the way, looking pretty good over here. It's still holding not only this last consolidation area before it made the run up into the resistance, it also is holding this trend line over here, right? It's holding up. It's using that as support. It looks completely healthy over here. If we break down over this area, right, it's a rising area. So I'm going to call it now somewhere around 12,800. If we break below 12,800, at that point, I would expect that we come around and test somewhere around 12,100. I know I have a little bit of support over there at 12,483. I'm going to remove that. That was from that last high over there. That's why that was there. I don't think that's anything. I'm going to remove that. All right. That's not in play. What else? Ethereum, not looking good. Why do I say that? Well, I like to be above 390 and we're below it. So that's all I'm basing that off of. Now, at the same time, look, this is quite bullish. There's no question about it, right? When I say not good, is that a time you want to be looking to lean in and buy Ethereum? Probably. I would expect at some point within the next 30 to 60 days, Ethereum is trading up towards 500. Should you therefore buy Ethereum because I said that? Absolutely not. Do not ever, because someone has an opinion, do not ever base any type of investment you make off of that. Follow what everyone says, learn to make educated decisions on a swing trader's perspective, 8-hour time frame. I'm looking over here right now as this is holding, like this outer line over here is still holding. A resumption up and triggering above not only 390 and above that trend line. That's a fantastic risk reward entry on Ethereum, simply because your stop loss below there and you have a 1 to 2 just targeting the resistance over here. So looks very nice. Looks not nice below 390, but at the same time looks very nice if it triggers an entry soon. Same thing with Bitcoin. This was consolidation, break into resistance, retesting right now, or resumption off is a great trade. So we have a front side, back side, all sides right over there. What else are we talking about over here today? Let's get into FX. All right, before we do, let's look at Chainlink. Chainlink also, right? Everyone should see it. This started our bullish event, the break of that trend line over there. That happened not just here on Chainlink. It happened on Bitcoin. We were tracking Bitcoin first. It happened on Ethereum and all across cryptocurrency markets. Now, what happened since? We are in this rising channel over here, right? So be careful, because a breakdown from that could set off a bigger correction easily. Could anyone see an event in the next week or so that could trigger that type of correction? I can. It's possible. But right now, that's not what's happening right now. You're into support, right? Again, just like on Ethereum, when I talked about if it's able to go ahead and rise off of that, that's an opportunity. Could someone have took that overnight? Yeah, they could have, right? By the way, just also go ahead, just like on Ethereum, the same thing. We have to protect our outer bounds over here. Let me clone that. Let me throw this in. And just make it lighter like on Ethereum. All right, clear as day. Everyone's got it. Good. What's going on with WTI? It's off big time. This is good. This is good. This is good. Why? Because it's setting up further opportunity now. Remember how boring it was? Now we get a break of a range. This becomes exciting. We could start watching oil again, right? It's been a long time. Good. So what does that mean though? So nothing. Wait and watch. I'm waiting for this. I said if it came down towards 31 or down towards 28.50, at that point, it would be worth watching to see if that's where we get a bottom and a resumption off. Even still, we could start now watching oil. That's fun, right? In the beginning of the year, we were watching oil every day and crushing it. Crushing it, right? So here we are. Back to oil. Yeah, we're seeing signs, no question. We're seeing signs of Bitcoin decoupling, and all right. So just like rewind. I don't like the sound of that. I don't want to be like that guy. But going back when we were in this area over here, when we were in this whole area over here, I kept saying, because everyone at this point has this imprinted in their mind, when the stock market crashed, dollar liquidity crisis, and Bitcoin got demolished. And I kept saying, look, we're going to start seeing signs of Bitcoin decoupling from the equity markets. Because everyone here is saying, well, if the stock market crashes, then what's going to happen to Bitcoin? I kept saying we're going to start seeing signs, but it won't be like pronounced until the late first quarter 2021. We're seeing lots of signs now. We're seeing lots of signs right now. All right, let's go. Let's go, 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 go. What are we looking at over here? Watch Bitcoin, watch Ethereum. So Kips, the wisdom of Kips, right? Watch what happens when you have a strong dollar, which is acting the strongest. And if I just look through right now everything that's going on over here, right? I see right now that if they gave these entries over here on Ethereum, if it gave these entries on Bitcoin, that's strong dollar. That's that signal right there. This is TradingView, Sebastian. It's tradingview.com. You could see it up here, right? On the you can't see it. It's just tradingview.com. It's a free platform. I use the upgrade. The first upgrade, $7, $8 a month, gives you 8-hour charts. 8-hour charts is essential. The DE30, I saw that comment and throw it in. Europe in lockdown, right? I don't have anything to add here. That I don't have anything whatsoever to add to the conversation here, right? So I'm sorry if I don't have anything to add. I can't add to the conversation. That's I just I only talk about something if I feel like anyway. Here we go. I watched The Rise and the Rise. Yes, Daniel, what a great documentary. Highly recommend it, especially if I highly recommend it. Interesting to see Roger Ver and Vitalik, the editor of Bitcoin Magazine in the old days. Tell us more about gold. There's nothing more else to say about gold. Right now on gold, you should be on the sidelines. Boom, 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 boom. Right now you should be on. You just need pro. Do I see silver? I don't know where I see silver heading to at all. All as I know is that we had a breakdown. Look here, gold and silver. You ready? Everyone's looking for it. Let me definitely be there to help you out. Gold and silver, right? Gold and silver. Whoa, hold on. Let me take off the comments. I can't get distracted. Gold and silver. Right now, what just happened on gold and silver is we were in a consolidation pattern. And we were waiting for either a breakout or a breakdown. We broke down. I am only looking to buy gold. I am not looking to sell gold or silver, which means I am now completely on the sidelines waiting for it to repair its damage and become bullish again before taking buy-side trades. I do not know where this will end up. I cannot predict the future. Bitcoin is different. It is math. Okay, I can't predict the exact prices, areas, and time, but I have no idea what's going to happen over here. I have no idea. I just know that I will not look to enter a trade on silver without us breaking above that trend line right there. If we break above that trend line, I will look to go long silver. Now, if we trade back down to a big support level, at that point, I will be looking to buy silver if it holds. What about gold? Same exact thing. Gold was in a consolidation pattern. It has broken down, retest, resumption. I do not want to be buying gold right now. It's experiencing a bearish event. Do I know when I will look to buy gold again? I do not. Right now, it's nothing below that level, the gold level 1914. Or if we come back down into some areas of strong support where I would like to position myself back in again. So to get that position, I will try to enter through a swing trade. All right. So what else? So and anyway, and so I don't have any type of like bias. You all know that I love gold. You all know that I'm a gold bug. But right now I have a bearish event. So rather than trying to get myself into hope, if you're just like, oh, gold's good, we're coming into an election next week and it's going to be risk a safe haven, you're doing this wrong because the charts are telling you different. And I just follow what's happening on the charts and it keeps me out of a world of trouble, right? I'd rather manage my risk. This game is about managing your risk, not about taking risk. Right there, that's a nugget. This game is about managing your risk, not about taking on risk. All right. So how many people we got with us today? Anyone, 1,400 people, anyone here? Just want you to know that you are important to me and I'm glad that you are here. I really, really feel like, the shepherd of a flock and everyone is of importance to me. I'm not looking at the comments, so I'm not distracted today. But that does not mean that they're not important to me. All right, that's all. So what else? Let's keep going over here. I want to blow through FX. I want to blow through FX. I feel like I should do this on the daily time frame. And if anything is interesting, I'm going to come down to the 8-hour. All right, so that's what I'm going to do. So Australian dollar, Canadian dollar, right? A couple of things I notice. That trend line over here is holding. It tried to break above. By the way, if it did break above, that might not be to after the election, because I'm thinking Australian dollar, risk on, risk off currency. And we are right now, because of the lockdowns in Europe, because of the US elections, in a risk off type of environment that is not conducive for the Australian dollar. By the way, you all have been hearing him say it for quite a while right now. And that was Kip's. And his whole thesis was coming off of the pressure coming from China, right? However, what's going on in the charts, right? If we break above this trend line, right, this resistance over here, I'm going to start trying to take a long. That's not just happening here on the Canadian dollar. That's happening across the Australian dollar pairs. We'll look at it in 1 second. 8-hour. Do I see anything for an entry over here? Look, this is a little bit fuzzy for me. It's a little bit sideways. The market's kind of like there's a battle going on between the bears and the bulls. Move quite along. You all know, or if you don't know, I tend to avoid Swiss franc pairs. Now, if we run into a serious event next week with the election and the state of the United States and its democracy, and we run into a risk-off event, probably I'll lean towards the Japanese yen, but maybe the Swiss franc. Outside of a crisis, I leaned into the Swiss franc in the crisis on purpose. Right now, I tried to avoid it. I don't like trading the Swiss franc. So, and I guess it's ultimately because of the central bank, which could step in at any time. Any which way, look, this is that trend line on all Australian dollar pairs. We are below it. If I start getting confirmation from all Australian dollar pairs, which I believe this is a counter trend move right now, and we go back up towards the trend, I'm going to want to get involved in them. So I'm setting up a trade that could happen weeks and or months from now. Australian dollar, Japanese yen, I just applaud. I know a lot of you took this trade over here, right here, when we had the breakdown, retest, resumption. And anyone who pushed it through that consolidation right now, you should be targeting down over here. You should be targeting first this support over here at 72.80, and then also this trend line over there is going to be important if we keep going further. Get below that trend line and it's game on to the downside. Maybe then we're having some type of double dip recession, insolvency events, and who knows what else is going on. But right now, there's no new trade over there. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. So, by the way, I don't know if that comment is seen for anyone, but we don't use any type of I can't even say the word. Guys, we're all friends here. We're all working together on the same team. There's no need to use any type of language that's insulted to someone else who holds any different type of view than you do whatsoever. That's trash. We're not trashy, right? Take that stuff elsewhere. So Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar continues. Look at that. It just observing. I'm not doing anything. Look how clean that is, right? So what does that mean to you? What does that mean to me? I'm going to do this because this is important. If I saw some type of break above, that would be that might be something that I'm looking to get involved with. That's very clean. So break above there, that could become interesting. Nothing is interesting right now though. Australian dollar, US dollar. Look at that dollar pressure. Look at that dollar pressure. This wasn't easy. I want to observe it though. This wasn't easy, but I want to observe it. Well, Jordan, why do you repeat yourself? So I understand what I'm saying. This was something we watched over here, right? As we came back into that broken support. Do you see how it was resistance, but it wasn't clean? I like things that are clean, and this was too difficult, right? Nevertheless, you could see it happening on the larger time frame a little bit clearer. You could see the breakdown of that important trend line. Look, breakdown, failed, held us support, broke again. Now it's resistance. There's nothing going on that I see. Australian dollar, US dollar might be the pair to attack more than the euro right now. with the strong dollar right now, and we're going to get to the euro US dollar in 1 second, but with the strong dollar and risk off situation, Australian dollar, the Australian dollar US dollar might be the one to attack right now. I'm trying to line this up in my mind, but I don't see it yet. I'm going to keep watching this very strongly in the days ahead because I feel like I'm behind on the Australian dollar, Japanese yen, right? I'm going to be watching both of these. By the way, just the other thing I'm always looking for my backside. The one thing, the most important thing I'm looking for during election night is that someone concedes the election. If someone concedes the election, I think we're gonna go risk on really quickly, no matter who wins for I don't know how long. Then we're gonna talk about. Then we have to factor in who won the Senate. Someone else and brought up an important point last night, important for me at least, because I hadn't really considered it. So, and what they said was over here. This is Costa over here. He's saying, look, the best scenario for gold or risk on would be if Trump wins, but the Democrats take the Senate and the Congress, because at that point, he believes there will be a lot of spending. He knows Trump's a spender. Trump is like the most MMT president we've ever had in our lifetimes, by the way. So if we get a Democratic Senate and Congress, we may see a lot of spending. It was an interesting point of view. I like consulting all different points of view. All right. Where are we at? All right, dude. Narayan, brother, let the politics go. Let the politics go. You're all triggered, buddy. It's not good for your health. You want to keep your immune system up, especially during this, when you got this little cerveza going around. You want to keep your immune system up. You don't really want to be like getting all like triggered about politics. All right, what's going on over here? This support over here, like we're coming into an important area of support over there. Is that where I want the support? Right? Yeah, those are all good levels that I'm following and watching. Nothing going today. I'm going to be let me go ahead and just make myself some mental notes over here. I'm really going to be looking for opportunities on both the Australian dollar, Japanese yen, or the US dollar. Canadian dollar, Japanese yen, break Japanese yen strong, risk off. Canadian dollar, Japanese yen breaking an important support level over here. You see that was all resistance, then support. Now we're trading below it. That's an event that sets up possible action over here. All right. I'll wait until we close on the daily to twist that off. Swiss franc, Japanese yen. Right. That was a trade that was last Monday or Tuesday. Euro US dollar resuming off here now. Let me clean that up. Sorry. We have a training session in a little bit, so I'm going a little faster. I hope everyone's on the same page. If you've been following for more than a day, I know that you are. But here's where we got stopped out. I still think it was a good stop loss placement, and then all of a sudden triggered up over here, right? We talked about yesterday in the live stream. Listen, it's a place for a reentry, but that's gone now. Euro Canadian dollar, interesting. This is good over here, right? Why? I'm saying getting above that line over here, I'm looking to, you notice all commodity currencies are off. I'll be looking to be a buyer. Maybe tomorrow that looks a little bit better. So I don't see anything happening yet except really setting up the whole flow. What do I mean by that? Like, what do I mean by setting up the flow? Like, we saw a big important signal today, the breakout on the dollar. Now that gets me like, all right, now I could start getting active in US dollar pairs. I also see, like, I know that we're risk off in the markets, whether it's from lockdowns in Europe, whether it's from the election, Australian dollar weak, right? Commodity currencies weak. So it's got me focused on where I want to focus. This is like, this for me, I know everyone always like looking for that, just cares about the entry. This is the important stuff for me. I'm really good at identifying trends. And once I see the clarity in that trend and able to trade around it, That's when everything's going well. Nothing here on the euro, British pound. So look, like I don't need to spell this out for you, right? We had that little bit of a breakdown into the resistance and resumption off. Anyone who took that entry, I didn't, but that's a conquering the markets entry all day long. I feel like I should have took that. Euro New Zealand dollar, nothing. Well, not nothing. Euro New Zealand dollar, we broke down outside of that ascending wedge, came in, retest, resumption down, now coming back into that resistance. Is that giving an entry right over there? No. The market's still just sideways and fighting. I don't like anything over there. Euro, US dollar, what's going on? Dollar breaking out. So first of all, notice that relatively, all right, so follow my mind. Do we have any type of like the Neuralink? Are you guys able to like follow my thoughts? Let me do a better job in articulating them. So I know, I know the dollar's breaking out today, right? That's clear to me, right? A lot of people looking then to attack Euro US dollar. Notice I'm lining up the Australian dollar so far, not the US dollar. Notice also that as we're going through our pairs so far, or I noticed that the euro is moderately strong. To other cross pairs, the euro is strong. Now go back to, I don't know when it was, but there was a long period of time this year when the dollar was strong, the euro and the pound were moderately strong, and we had commodity currencies weak. When that flipped and the dollar went weak, the euro and the pound remained strong, and the commodity currencies became stronger. So I'm viewing right now the euro not as weak. I'm not viewing it as weak as all. Could the verbal intervention from the ECB be like trying to put a lid on it? What's the verbal intervention? Like they're like trying to scare the markets that they could ease further. That's verbal intervention. It's the central bank acting without taking any type of concrete action. And could they be doing that? Yes. But I see the euro has that moderate strength in it, right? So, again, weakness versus strength. Euro is not the one to be attacking right now. What else? Pound, Australian dollar, nothing yet. I see that we're coming back up towards this important area over here, right? I know that the Australian dollar is weak, but I know that the pound has a lot of variables going on with the further as we get closer to the end of the year. So no clarity there, right? So this, by the way, this might actually. So hold on 1 second. Let me clean this up for everyone right now. These lines I have over here, I'm gonna erase them, and I'm gonna put in tighter, nicer lines over here really quick. Now this is just. I'm going to go like that. And then on this downside also, I just want cleaner lines over here. I don't need to put one on the downside. We're up here. And I do want that one for reference on my brain. All right. So right now, as I don't know what those alerts are. Do I need a sip of matcha? All right. So what am I watching over here? I'm watching the weakness, the trend developing in commodity currencies weakening out. I'm coming into resistance right over here. However, that was a pretty big resistance level. I have it green now as support at 1.7278, right? This looks interesting to me on the 8-hour over here. I don't see any type of entry developing in this moment, but maybe in the next 24 hours. And look, I take these entries into that trend line, which is resistance. If I think there's a strong possibility it's going to break. So I might be lining this up for myself over here. Look, if I step back on the daily time frame over there, a breakout above this consolidation pattern, that could be a good move over here. I'm watching this one. Could that be because of the weak oil? Yes. Pressure could be on the Canadian dollar here for the weak oil. Nevertheless, resistance is holding right now. The safer trade is always getting a breakout right? Resistance and resumption. So just trying to play it all out. I do not see anything clear whatsoever. I like the Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. I like that, if I get another opportunity. By the way, this needs to be moved up now. Hold on one second. This is now resistance. This is where the market's paying attention on resistance, right? I'll be watching this, and I'm trying to line up maybe this and this, but I don't see any entries that are like, I haven't seen a wave come in a while. New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar, we've been there, done that, right? But by the way, right now, as you're into that resistance over there, if anyone who took those trades, and I know a lot of people did, anyone who took those trades, I would be taking full profit here right now into that heavy resistance. And then if you clear that resistance, then you could start getting long again. But I would be taking full profit there. New Zealand dollar, Swiss franc. I have a feeling if you clone that trend line, we're fine. I don't see anything. US dollar, Canadian dollar, we're seeing a breakout on the dollar. We're seeing that weak Canadian dollar. Is now the time to be looking to go long on the Canadian dollar. All right, let's check it out. By the way, look at that first pullback happening here this morning over there. That wasn't lined up to me today, though, until we broke out here on the dollar. I think right now is the Canadian dollar against the US dollar. I might be looking to go for long side trades now, for buy side trades over there, right? We talked about over here as we came into that trend line over there. If someone wanted to, that they could go long over there. But then as soon as we came up into resistance, it was sell resistance. At this point, again, with the dollar breaking out, I think that we have a shift over here. And I think that I will be looking for long buy side trades on the US dollar, Canadian dollar over here. So I like the Australian dollar with the risk on, risk off situation as the dollar is breaking out, and also versus the Japanese yen. Also US dollar, Canadian dollar now might come into play. Nothing today though. So what about the US dollar, Swiss franc here as we're seeing the trend change in the dollar? This could also now on the US dollar, Swiss franc, I might be, and I do trade the dollar Swiss franc, I might be looking to go long here, setting up longs now, right? So that's it. That's a look at the markets. I want to check in with all of you really quick. So Shane, thanks for even being so considerate to even ask, so generous to ask. There is not a referral code, but if you simply click the link in the description, that will go ahead and that will work. So I appreciate you asking that. You had a Sean, what pair are you talking about? US dollar, Swiss franc? I wasn't tracking it. I'm only tracking this now as the dollar. I've been avoiding all dollar pairs. Now that the dollar has broken out on the DXY, now I was avoiding dollar pairs. Now I'm looking. Mario, I use multiple brokers. If you're looking for a good broker, it depends on where in the world you live. That's number one. If for FX, right now, FX Choice no longer accepts U.S. citizens. I highly and strongly recommend Oanda. Start with a demo account over on Oanda. You can connect it as long as you're not in Europe directly to TradingView and trade off of it, and it's amazing. By the way, let me just show you really quick. If I pull up Oanda pair over here, right, and you go ahead and you click to simply buy, right, it pulls up an order box, right? So let's say I was putting a market order in, right? Well, how do I know? Like where's my stop loss? Well, my stop loss, let's say it was 100 pips from market, right? Okay, and how much am I risking? All right, well, I'm risking 1% over here. It figures out my position size. It's so easy to do. It's ridiculous. Highly recommend using Oanda there. Jordan, do you use log chart when drawing trend lines? No, I do not. I do not use log chart. I use log chart like if I'm looking at a long-term chart of Bitcoin because it's fun, but I don't trade off a log chart ever. This is TradingView. This is TradingView.com. TradingView.com. It is phenomenal. Great. Alan, you're happy I don't have a referral code? Why? I don't really understand that, but that's okay. Yeah, so it's hard to share the links to my TradingView charts because you can only look at whatever pair I'm looking at, you know? Euro, Australian dollar. We have a buy over there, right? We've been following, right? Buy over here. This was a range. Let me just talk about this really quick over here just to bring some clarity. We were tracking this blue box, and while we were in that blue box, it was sideways, staying away from it for months. Then we broke out of the blue box. That set up some trades now to the buy side because we don't look to trade sideways markets. We're looking for trending markets that are going to break multiple levels. Over here, we came up over here. That was an entry, right? Again, another entry over here. Stopped out for me. But then yesterday on the live stream, it then was stopped out and boomed off of it, giving another entry. I didn't take the second entry on there, but that's why. All right, everyone. This is going to be a shorter session over here. I got to prepare. We got a live Conquering the Markets training session coming up. Great session. We didn't make it to 500 likes, but that doesn't matter. It was a powerful one. Everyone, I'll touch base with you in the afternoon, and I'll see you tomorrow. All right, everyone. Have a beautiful day. Be the light in the world. Bring a smile to others. And I'll talk to you later.